The streets aren't safe at night. We should do something about that.
And welcome back, Dragon Age 2. Getting into episode 3 here. Last we left off, we sort of wrapped up some intense family drama with the Hawke and Amel dynasties.
Be careful! It looks like this isn't over yet. Go down! Let's finish this! You are not enough!
And a real nice nighttime gang fight there to start the action off. We're in Hightown, nighttime, and we're trying to head to the Chantry to help Anders with his mage friend, and eventually get him in, to the group. Little unfinished business along the way here, though.
Why, hello there. Remember me? Your uncle still owes us. But I figure, why bleed a stone? You've done so well, after all.
I've done so well because I've carved my way through half of Kirkwall. You really want to cross me?
You spurned my offer, and lost us some serious coin. I intend to take what you owe, with interest.
Get ready! Go down! Waste of life. Look out! More on the way!
I'll make this quick.
Hard one and then now!
Can't take much more.
So Athenril, if you remember her, she was the smuggler in the prologue who,
It's done.
there was a straggler there. Yeah, she was the smuggler that we could choose to work with, or we could choose Mirren with the Red Iron Mercenaries. We chose Mirren, so whichever one you don't choose comes back at this point and, is all upset about it.
You are not enough! Another ball! That's enough!
Boy, oh boy, this group is just firing on all fours, Dev. I'm really pleased. I know it's somewhat simple, you know, tactic-wise, and we don't have a lot of abilities or conditions, etc., etc.
Guardsman Aveline.
But we're all assisting on the same target. Aveline's peeling off and attacking things that are attacking our back line. The heals, the bubbles, the chameleon cloud. Potions are getting drank when they need to be drank. It's just, it's really solid right now.
I saw Carl go inside a few minutes ago. No Templars so far. Are you ready?
I didn't see anyone suspicious out here. Let's do this fast.
All right. I'll handle the talking. You watch for Templars. When we find Carl, just let me talk to him.
Now right there I switched Bethany to a cold staff. It's a lot less damage. It's only 7 compared to the 22 that the fire staff does. And it was a judgment call because we are going to have to fight in here, and the things we have to fight are weak to cold damage. In retrospect, maybe just keeping the fire would have been better because they're not immune to fire, but we'll see how it goes and talk about it later.
Anders, I know you too well. I knew you would never give up.
What's wrong? Why are you talking like...
I was too rebellious, like you. The Templars knew I had to be made an example of.
No!
How else will mages ever master themselves? You'll understand, Anders. As soon as the Templars teach you to control yourself. This is the apostate.
No!
You will never take another mage as you took him.
Anders, what did you do? It's like you brought a piece of the Fade into this world. I had already forgotten what that feels like.
I thought the Tranquil were cut off from the Fade forever.
When you're tranquil, you never think on your life before. But it's like the Fade itself is inside Anders, burning like a sun. Please, kill me before I forget again. I don't know how you brought it back, but it's fading.
Carl, no.
Maybe we can find a cure.
Can you cure a beheading? The dreams of tranquil mages are severed. There is nothing left of them to fix.
I would rather die a mage than live as a Templar puppet.
My sister calls being tranquil a fate worse than death. Give him peace.
I got here too late. I'm sorry, Carl. I'm so sorry.
Now! It's fading! Why do you look at me like that?
Goodbye. We should leave before more Templars come.
That wasn't normal magic you just did, was it?
This is hard to explain. When I was in Amaranthine, I met a spirit of justice who was trapped outside the Fade. We became friends, and he recognized the injustice that mages in Thedas face every day.
And that's different than a demon.
Just as demons prey on the deadly sins of mankind, there are good spirits who embody our virtues. Spirits of compassion, fortitude, justice. They are the Maker's first children, and they have all but given up on us.
The spirit sounds like a useful friend to have.
He was far better to me than I have been to him. To live outside the Fade, he needed a host. I offered to help him. We were going to work together, bring justice to every child ever ripped away from his mother to be sent to the Circle. But I guess I had too much anger. Once he was inside me, he changed.
So, you have this spirit of justice living in your head?
It's not like that. He's gone now. He's part of me. It's not like we can have a conversation. I feel his thoughts as my own. Not even the greatest scholar could tell you where I end and he begins.
This is obviously difficult for you.
I thought I was helping my friend. He would have died, I guess. If that even means anything. And he wanted to help me. He knew what mages have suffered.
You tried to help a friend. Surely no harm can come of that?
I wish I still had your innocence. There was too much hatred in me. Justice thought he would overcome that. But my anger, when I see Templars now, things that have always outraged me, but I could never do anything about, he comes out. And he is no longer my friend, Justice. He is a force of vengeance, and he has no grasp of mercy.
Can justice ever be separated from you?
I don't think so. The only way a spirit has ever been separated from a living host is by its death. The curse is of my own making. All I can do now is hope to control it.
Can you bring him out at will?
No. He comes only when I've lost all power over myself. It's a madness, a frenzy. I only find out after what I might have done.
Is there anything I can do for you?
You're the first one I've ever told this. Thank you for not running away. My maps are yours, as am I if you wish me to join your expedition. I thought I was done with the Grey Wardens. But if you have any need of me, I will be waiting here.
Okay, I kept Aveline in the group just for a second so I could remove her jewelry items and maybe put them on Anders. I can add him to the party just outside his clinic. So we're going to do that, and we're going to talk to him again. And I have to take kind of a harsh line, otherwise he ends up hitting on me, and if I turn him down later, it causes a rivalry hit.
I had a friend like you once. Got in all kinds of trouble. Dragged me along. Didn't think I'd be doing that again. I got a bit weighty the last time we talked. Sorry for putting that on you.
Keep your personal issues to yourself. Our relationship is strictly professional.
Understood.
So yeah, it sounds a bit harsh, but by doing it that way, you don't incur a rivalry hit, and doing it the other way, it would be like rivalry +10 to Anders, so better to avoid that. Now we've got him back in the party, and we're going to respec him. I got some in-game voiceover for this action. Okay, so Anders, I don't know if you played Awakening. It was the expansion for Origins, Dragon Age Origins. Anders is a part of that whole backstory, and he's going to be our second mage for most of the game, like the core party member. Now occasionally there's another mage that we haven't met yet that I need to swap in and out, but Anders, like Varric, is going to be there a lot of the time. So that's who the fourth Maker's Sigh, the respec potion, was for. We did what we had to do to get him, so now we are respecking him. And similar to Bethany, just cranking out the main stat magic is the best way to go. Now as for his build, I'm going to redo it in Act 2, but no need to get into all that. For Act 1, he's going to be a damager. His special sort of tree over here, the Vengeance line, it's two parts. One is sort of healing, has a group heal and a res. And then you have the damage part where Vengeance, he does more damage, and you can upgrade this, but look at this, damage resistance minus 50%. He becomes very, very brittle. But this is how I chose to build Anders, and I think it's the most effective. I played with Anders a ton, all the way 5 years ago, every party I've ever played, and I've done just this, I've done both, and I think this is the best way to play him. So, the primal tree, which Bethany doesn't get, see, she lacks the primal tree, but she has entropy, whereas Anders does not. The primal tree is really just the best tree in the game. It does great damage, great crowd control. It sets up a brittle, but it also has a detonate for disorient and stagger. I mean, it's just amazing. And then galvanism is awesome because it upgrades all your abilities and bonus to electricity damage. So it really is, for NPCs or for a player character, Hawke mage, it's really just the best. And so we're going to be working a lot with that tree for him. So we'll start off right away and get these three. Stone Fist is just like a hurling fist, knocks things down. This is a sustainable that boosts armor, and this is Chain Lightning. Oh, the other good thing about this spell and this spell, they don't do friendly fire damage. Even though they're area effect, this is Chain Lightning, it arcs to other enemies. And then Tempest is just a flat out big area effect shock storm, but it never hits your party, only enemies, even if they're standing right in it. In fact, you can target a party member with this spell in order to cast it. So another great thing about this tree for a nightmare run. So we start off with those, and the other thing he's going to do in Act 1 a little bit of is this tree. He's not going to build it out like Bethany, but he's going to run our elemental weapons. Sustainable. It's 10% mana. It gives everyone in the group a small bonus to their weapon based on whatever element staff Anders is attacking with. So if he has a fire staff on and he's running this, everyone will get bonus fire damage. If it's a cold staff, everyone will get cold damage. You see, it's like a buff. And then the other thing he's going to use is this. It's not a great sustainable, and it's really just a pretty crappy thing to have. But we need to get up to here for the end boss in Act 1, and I'll talk more about that later, but it's just, this is the time to take it in the master plan, puzzle. So that's all he's got for now, since we're only level 5. Don't have a good weapon for him yet, but I kind of want this for the bonus to damage, but this is going to be more stamina and less threat, so let's put it on. And this isn't a great ring, but we don't really have anything else. These are physical damage rings. And then we'll probably just do that. Maybe that just for enemies drop better equipment. Even though this is better stat-wise, I'm just going to keep that on, so hopefully we get better drops. We'll fill out his ring slot soon enough. Now tactics, get the basic 2 right off the rip. Whoops, that's not right. I don't have any, yeah. What happened in that last fight is the enemy Templar assassin stole all my healing potions, and I wasn't able to loot the corpse before we left, so that kind of blows, but I'll get another healing potion soon enough and put it back in there. So I unchecked it for now. Otherwise, we're just going to go... For now, we're just going to blast off with Chain Lightning right off the rip. That's going to be on cooldown. Constantly throw it out as soon as he's got it, kind of thing. Enemy target a Hawke, Chain Lightning. The next bits are going to be very similar to the Varric workaround tactic, where it's a 2-part thing, but it's going to complement. It's not going to be a redundancy. It's going to be a complement. So enemy attacking Bethany. Use this condition for next tactic. And then remember how Varrics were using a melee? Well, he's going to do the other 2. Use ranged or magic. And then what we're going to cast is Stone Fist. And that's a nice counter to, archers and magic users hanging out in the back, because Stone Fist will knock things down. So they'll be on their butt and unable to keep casting for a second. So we'll repeat it for Anders himself. Ranged and magic, ranged or magic. And we don't have enough slots to give it to Varric, so he's just going to have to miss out for now. And you have to do that here and there. But the mages are definitely the most important. So Bethany, if you recall, had 1 slot left open. So we will give Anders the same Glyph of Paralysis redundancy. if he's being attacked by a melee. And then for Varric, he's going to have to just miss out and keep himself alive, because I'm going to change this to enemy attacking Anders with a melee. Use pinning. See that? Because I think Varric can probably take a hit from a rogue. These two, absolutely not. And you saw in the last fight, she went down, and it made the fight really hard and really long. So that's that. Let me give Anders the injury kit on his bar. I'll clean this up and then we can move on. Okay, and speaking of that last fight with the Templars, recall I switched out Bethany's staff to the cold staff beforehand. And I think that probably wasn't the best, even though they're weak to cold. I think sticking with the higher damage fire staff would have helped, no pun intended, burn some targets down quicker. The other bad judgment was I stayed on the lieutenant instead of hopping onto her and getting her out of danger, because I thought we were just about to kill him. And at the last second he drank a heal potion, and then it was too late to save Bethany, so she died, made the fight long and hard. But this is Nightmare, you know. This is the stuff you put up with.
What?
Just wondering if the feathered pauldrons are an essential part of the moody rebel mage persona.
What are you talking about?
I'm working on an epic poem about a hopelessly romantic apostate, waging an epic struggle against forces he can't possibly defeat.
What do you mean, can't possibly defeat?
Well, it's not a good story unless the hero dies.
Okay, we've come back to Lowtown during the day to turn in one of those lost item side quests. We're going to do another small side quest that happens right after that, and then we're going to hit the Hanged Man and do some more NPC chat.
I believe you lost this somewhere.
I thought this was lost. Perhaps it should be. That does not diminish your kindness.
And a quick level up. Zoe is going to take Cleave. You see it's a buff. Damage plus 75% for 10 seconds. I mean, that's an enormous amount of damage boost. So that's super high priority.
Gather round, all. I bring you a priceless treasure. From the highest heights of Mount Davros is travelled. A pouch of Andraste's ashes. Verified by the scholar Genitivi, these ashes cure any ailment and provides virility in more intimate matters.
Blessed are the peacekeepers, the champions of the just.
I'll try. Just a small pinch, Sarah. There you go.
My God, it's gone.
Cured by the Maker himself.
That's enough. Clear out, you charlatans.
Every coin those swindlers nab goes straight to the Carter's coffers. They must be stopped.
Not a step closer. No refunds on the ashes, friend. If the Maker doesn't favor you, that's between you and him, isn't it? Don't say I didn't.
Nothing to worry about.
Now you fall!
Nothing to worry about.
Bethany, no! There!
Nice work.
So, not a bad fight, but Bethany did go down, and I was a little surprised by it. I wasn't ready for those second waivers to sort of come up behind her. And I think she was a little too separated from Varric and Anders for them to help her. But this is Nightmare. These things happen. You see the injury kit. I redo party sustainables because sometimes when somebody comes back from having died in a fight, they're not getting the buff. She levels up Crushing Prison. It's a great damage over time spell. Later when it gets upgraded, it can paralyze and also detonate a stagger combo, so it's an awesome spell. Don't have room for it, so instead of the assist Hawke attack, I just put it in there just for the time being until she gets some more slots.
Those charlatans won't be bothering anyone again.
Did you say something? I didn't hear you. And clumsy me. I seem to have dropped a coin purse in your hand.
You owe us, Isabella.
Well, Lucky, I'll tell you what. Since the information you gave me was worth nothing, that's what I'll pay you.
Me and my boys will get our money's worth, bitch.
Oh, you poor sweet thing. Tell me, Lucky, is this worth dying for? I didn't think so.
You're new around here, aren't you? Welcome, and keep your wits about you. You're nothing but tits and arse to the men in this place, and they won't hesitate to grab at both.
Speaking from experience, are we?
After a few broken fingers here and there, they got the idea. I'm Isabella. Previously Captain Isabella. Sadly, without my ship, the title rings a bit hollow. You're Ferelden, aren't you? You have that look about you. I was in Denerim not too long ago. You know, you might be just what I'm looking for to solve a little problem I have.
I'm always ready to help.
Someone from my past has been pestering me. I've arranged for a duel. If I win, he leaves me alone. But I don't trust him to play fair. I need someone to watch my back.
Who's this person you've arranged to meet?
His name is Hader. We worked together back in Antiva. He's never liked me. He's been asking about me all around Kirkwall. Thought I'd get it over with and meet him face to face.
Why a duel?
I like duels. It's what I do. And if I win, he'll be dead. Problem solved.
You wanted information from Lucky. What was it?
I asked Lucky and his boys to track down something I lost. They failed to do it. It's nothing to worry about, and this is much more important.
What makes you think I'm right for this?
You saw me talking to Lucky, didn't you? Those boys couldn't manage simple information gathering. I can't trust the riffraff in this place to do anything right. But you're different.
I think I could manage watching your back.
I'll bet. I've arranged to meet Hader in Hightown after dark. I'll meet you there.
So, you were in the circle and ran away? I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do that.
You've been an apostate your whole life.
Exactly. It was never anything I had to work for. Other people always took the risks to keep me free.
So, I've been dying to know. What was going through your head when you fought that ogre?
For the first few seconds. What do they feed those things?
I don't know anyone else that's even seen one. You're lucky just to be standing here. Somehow, Hawke, I imagine things won't be dull with you around. Not that I expect the deep roads to be boring, mind you. Constant threat of doom does tend to keep you awake.
Anything in particular I should know about your brother?
To understand Bartrand, you've got to understand the Dwarven Merchants Guild. These are dwarves who would sell their mothers if they thought it'd get them a better share of the lyrium market. Anyone who deals with them has to sleep with a knife under their pillow. In my family, that's Bartrand.
What are your plans for this trip into the deep roads?
Bartrand's running the show. Andraste's ass, he'd probably do that even if we weren't paying for everything. The tide we're looking for is supposed to be a week's travel from the surface, so I hope you aren't scared of the dark. We've got supplies, muscle, excavators. The plan is to carry out everything that's not nailed down.
If we'll be working together, I should find out more about you.
You're in luck. I'm always willing to talk about myself to beautiful women. My family came from Orzammar, noble house Tethras, until my father got caught fixing provings. He and our whole house got exiled. No huge loss. I was born up here. Sunshine suits me just fine.
Are you a merchant? A mercenary?
I'm a younger son. It's a difficult and dangerous profession. A lot of us die of boredom. Fortunately, being Bartrand's younger brother keeps me on my toes. Maker knows he lacks subtlety. I'm the one who pulls strings to keep the coterie out of our hair, keep us just a whisker ahead of the other families.
A lot of things can keep you awake, you know. I wouldn't reach for the doom first.
Sure, I could have a cup of tea in the morning, but I hear it's bad for you. I've spent my whole life in Kirkwall. Dangerous enough most days, but it doesn't compare to the deep roads. So, this will be, let's just call it an adventure, I guess.
Great. Now we're adventurous.
Alright, so we've met the salty temptress Isabella and had a little bit more chat with Varric. We're going to pop right back out into Lowtown, but we're going to wait for nighttime.
These thugs are plaguing the streets. I don't see a problem in giving them the fight they want.
I think Uncle Gamlen comes here.
Well, if it ain't my favorite new citizen. What are you doing here? Did you finally figure out being free and poor in Kirkwall ain't worth a rat's spit?
My year's done. But a day's work for a day's pay. That I could do.
You mean you're not too good for my kind of work? Because the blokes I hired after you couldn't find their arse with both hands. I sent them to take out Lord Harriman while he was preparing his cargo for shipping. Nighttime, docks, simple. Never came back.
I haven't heard a job in this yet.
The job's the same. Kill Harriman, but there'll be a bonus if you find my men alive.
I assume this isn't personal.
Job's paid for second-hand. By some other old Kirkwall family. The nobles here like to shank each other for sport. We're just their knives.
Who's Lord Harriman?
I don't know the who, but the what is old and rich. Rumor says he's a savvy one. His daughters give him marriage ties to half the city.
I'm sure I can finish what they started.
They were supposed to ambush him at the docks. That'd be the best place to start looking. And remember, Harriman dead, my lad Gustav alive. Other way around, then you don't get paid.
Okay, you remember Mirren. He was our Red Iron sponsor back in the prologue when we needed into the city. We worked for the Red Iron for a year. And I don't know if you recall some of those letters in Gamlen's house that were, you know, quests. They're kind of leads that were sent by him.
I've got this!
I'll deal with this. It's not doing anything.
Okay, a nice nighttime gang fight there. There was a small spot where the mages were just standing there. I repositioned the group and they got back into action. Varric gets a level up here and crank his dex, and then we'll upgrade pinning shot to rapid pinning shot, so the duration of the snare lasts longer and the cooldown is reduced. Now we're off to the docks.
Never a shortage of idiots who think they can take the streets in the dark, but good reward in getting rid of them.
I'll deal with this.
So Zoe really just beasting out on everybody there. Shield Warrior is a lot of fun. Rogue is similar when you spam the nearest enemy attack and they just constantly burst to the next thing. But Shield Warrior with that shield bashing is just, you know, it never gets old. It's just so damn fun. Anders level up. We're going to get Petrify, and that's, you know, a paralyze. Now it has a downside. It increases the enemy's damage resistance. You know, it's like you're kind of turning them to stone, petrifying them. So they take less damage, but when you upgrade it, the damage resistance penalty is reduced, so it's good, and it also sets up brittle. So I added in here for enemy attacking Anders or Bethany. Had to get rid of the Stone Fist tactic 4 Anders, and Varric's still just, you know, not getting anything. We just don't have enough slots, but you'll see Petrify. It's another great, you know, CC spell that's going to help the back line out.
Someone's left a surprise here. Now that's just what are they
There was a nice lead with Varric to get the traps. Head around the corner, get another lost item quest here. You're also, I don't know if you're seeing it, it's kind of hard to tell if you don't know what to look for, but chain lightning is going off, and it's really quite nice. You know, it'll shock people and they'll kind of stutter for a minute. Really good stuff.
You all right?
Want the best? Take it from the worst, then sell to specialists like you. Always willing to give a discount to the people who save my skin.
Okay, Bonnie Limbs wears. The reason we took a right and went down into this disused passage is to get this vendor. He's kind of hidden down here, and he's got 3 items which we need for Act 1. The mace there, Thudpucker's Fist or whatever it's called. There's a cold staff, and then this belt there, enchanted silverite chain. I won't have enough gold to get the belt just yet, but I'll get the mace for Zoe and the staff for the mages. This thing has a chance to stun, and it says 5%, but it really goes off a lot. And then look at this, 28 damage. That may be the highest damage item in Act 1. And cold is very, very useful. Plus it buffs cold and fire damage, so just lots and lots of damage. And they both have a rune slot, so these are, you know, really amazing items.
Watch where you step.
Nice use of the hold party function there, so Varric could get the switch. And we're gonna get some immediate fights with this new gear, and you'll you'll immediately notice the difference. Watch these things go. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's on. We got the items, Dev. Yeah, these weapons really help out big time. They're awesome.
That's enough! How about you?
Suicide.
May Andraste guide you.
Now, in case you're wondering, this zone, the docks, it wasn't accessible prior to talking to Mirren about the job to kill Lord Harriman, which we're not going to do right now. We have to come back during the day to do that.
More refugees pouring in every day.
And it would have been nice to access this zone and get down into that disused passage to buy these great items off the vendor, especially the cold staff, namely to fight the Templars during Anders' quest, but again, that wasn't available yet. So really all we came here for was to get those items, because the docks was finally available. So just put that job he gave us on hold. Keep it in the back of your mind. We'll go back and do it shortly. We've returned to Lowtown Night to do another quest that we got a little while ago from the a letter from Mirren. There's a dwarf named Anso who has some missing goods, and he needs help getting them back. So that's what we're doing now.
Are you Ansel?
Ah! Sweet mother of Parth. You can't just run up on someone like that. Are you the one that mercenary told me about? The one looking for work?
I used to work with the Red Iron, if that's what you mean.
Yes, it is. What I mean, that is... My apologies, human. I haven't been on the surface very long. I keep thinking I'll fall up into that sky any minute.
Bartrand used to be like that. Got jumpy every time he stepped outside.
What a bizarre thing to be scared of.
But I digress. I need some help. Rather badly, in fact. Some product of mine has been misplaced. The men who were supposed to deliver it decided not to. If you retrieve my property, I could reward you handsomely.
Just what did these men steal?
Did I say steal? I don't know if I would go that far. They seemed like perfectly reasonable smugglers. They smiled and everything. The goods are valuable, however, and illegal. And my client wants them very, very badly. You know how these Templars can be.
You're smuggling lyrium to the Templars?
Maker's breath. Between the Chantry, the Carta, and the Coterie.
By the Paragons, not so loudly! My word. I'm not cut out for this. I should have taken that job sweeping stables like Mother insisted.
I'll get it back for you.
Oh, thank goodness. The gentlemen conduct their business at night in a little hovel within the alienage. If you have to kill them, then I guess it can't be avoided. But I'm sure they'll be reasonable.
So I don't know if you noticed in that skirmish prior to talking to Anso, I whacked Anders pretty good with my shield bash. That does do friendly fire, so that was unfortunate. And the reason he didn't drink a heal potion is, remember, I disabled that tactic because we didn't have any heal potions. So yeah, eventually I remember that that tactic is disabled, and eventually we have more heal potions so I can actually set the tactic. As for Zoe, that buff, man, cleave, you're seeing just how powerful it is. Plus, I've built her full strength, right? Main stat, other than that 1 point in constitution for that prereq to wear the armor. And you're seeing just how powerful that is in Act 1. Just even auto attacks start to really overpower the enemies and knock them back, knock them down. It's a ton of fun.
Someone's left a surprise here for us. We're good to go.
How about you? Boy, I'll deal with it. I'll kill you.
Someone must have tipped them off.
Anso's goods are probably in that chest. It's empty.
Waste of bloody time. Who put us up to this?
I guess we have no choice but to go back to Anso and tell him.
That's not the elf. Who is that?
It doesn't matter. We were told to kill whoever enters the house.
I don't know who you are, friend, but you made a serious mistake coming here.
Lieutenant, I want everyone in the clearing, now!
Captain!
Your men are dead, and your trap has failed. I suggest running back to your master while you can.
You're going nowhere, slave!
I am not a slave. I apologize. When I asked Anso to provide a distraction for the hunters, I had no idea they'd be so numerous.
You were responsible for this.
I'm the reason you're here, yes. My name is Fenris. These men were Imperial bounty hunters, seeking to recover a Magister's lost property, namely myself. They were trying to lure me into the open. Crude as their methods were, I could not face them alone. Thankfully, Anso chose wisely.
Everything Anso said was a lie, then?
Not everything. Your employer was simply not who you believed.
If you couldn't fight them, why not just run?
There comes a time when you must stop running, when you turn and face the tiger.
That seems like a lot of effort to find one slave.
It is.
Does this have something to do with those markings?
Yes. I imagine I must look strange to you. I did not receive these markings by choice. Even so, they have served me well. Without them, I would still be a slave.
If they were really trying to recapture you, then I'm happy I helped.
I have met few in my travels who have sought anything more than personal gain. If I may ask, what was in the chest? The one they kept in the house?
It was empty.
I suppose it was too much to hope for. Even so, I had to know.
You were expecting something else?
I was, but I shouldn't have. It was bait, nothing more.
You didn't need to lie to get my help.
That remains to be seen. It's as I thought. My former master accompanied them to the city. I know you have questions, but I must confront him before he flees. I will need your help.
It sounds like you intend to do more than just talk.
Denarius wants to strip the flesh from my bones, and has sent so many hunters that I've lost count. And before that, he kept me on a leash like a Kunari mage, a personal pet to mock Kunari custom.
Ouch.
So, yes, I intend to do more than just talk.
If it means fighting more slavers, I'll help you.
I will find a way to repay you. I swear it. The Magister is staying at a mansion in Hightown. Meet me there as soon as you can. We must enter before morning.
So another mysterious character, Fenris. We'll be having a lot more to say about him. We got another big gang fight around the corner, and then I'll sign us off. Alright, a big fight and a close call with Bethany. We're just over an hour, so we're going to sign it off. This is kind of a cliffhanger, Dev. We just met Fenris. We got to help him before daybreak. And we also need to help the sexy Isabella. Both of these are going to happen in Hightown Night, which we'll start with next time. Dragon Age 2. This is Zoe signing off.